Hey everybody, Tori here from Literary Gladiators, and today I want to tell you about a book that I just read that I think everybody should read. It's called To the Chapel Perilous. It's by Naomi Mitchison. It was written in 1955. This is the 1999 reprint version of it. It's a quick little read, but it's a fun read, and it plays with Arthurian legend in a very unique way, and here's how. So, a quick background on Mitchison. She was a journalist. She was a correspondent during the 1930s. So the people and the events that she kind of met and collected and experienced along the way influenced her take on Arthurian legend, which is what happens to the legends if journalists were involved in writing them. And she does it in such a fun, organic way that her characters and her situations that she has created as almost like a thought experiment laid on top of the legends that I think everybody knows is done in such a good way that it works perfectly. And she writes it in a perfect way. So it follows the two characters that she has created and proposed as the actual main characters, not King Arthur or anybody else, but the two correspondents for rival newspaper sources, the Northern Pict, which the writer from that one is Dallin, and the Camelot Chronicle, which is the writer, her name is Lenores. And the two of them have been the corresponding journalists who have been following all along the way the knights and the quests for the Holy Grail. The story actually starts not anywhere leading up to the discovery of the Holy Grail, but actually at the time that it happens. So the knight goes in, finds the Holy Grail, and comes back out successful to the Chapel Perilous. The twist is not just one knight, but several knights walk in, and then, because they have been deemed righteously so, walk back out with a Holy Grail. Because the fun thing here is, depending on the source and the person who wrote the story of the discovery of the Holy Grail, it looks a little bit different. There's a couple of discrepancies. It's a bowl, it's a cup, it's a spear, it's a box, it's made out of metal, it's made out of wood, it's made out of a laundry list of various other materials and looks, and is sized in various different ways. So Mitchison kind of, what if they all exist? You know, she covers it all and says, okay, so let's say that not one Holy Grail exists. There's the Holy Grail, the one that, depending on the news source you got it from, exists as the one and only. But really, because we all know, if you read a news article today, that the truth is somewhere in there, but it's not the whole truth, that there's other parts to the story that are missing. And so she kind of fills in those gaps by having these two reporters who have to be the eyes and ears, who see the other side of the story, who are involved and embroiled in these exciting times in a very different, very kind of almost hands-off and a hands-on way that makes for a really exciting read. All the usual things after the Holy Grail being discovered happen. You have mention of the Lady of the Lake, you have fights, you have the crazy things that happen within the court and that meltdown of the court for King Arthur. And so this is Mitchison's description of what really happened. And I think she does it, like I said, in such a wonderfully fun way. And she even gets to squeak in some of the more modern conventions that come along with writing and working in a 9-to-5 job, such as conference calls and sending in, stories by a deadline with the use of magic, because magic exists in Arthurian lore. Why not have fun with that? So, like I said, it's a really fun read. You should definitely find it. If you have read this, I'd love to hear what you thought about it. So if you could, write in the comments below if you've read this book or if you've read something similar to it. I'd love to be able to hear what that is, because I'd love to be able to read it as well. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that too. It says that what I'm doing is right and I'm not rambling to myself and for no apparent reason, that there are other folks who agree with me. And if you like what we do here at Literary Gladiators on this channel, don't be shy and maybe hit the subscribe button. Hearing from you in that any form is really appreciated on our end, because that says that we get to appreciate you guys out there all the more. So I think that about does it for me. My name's Tori. You guys have been awesome, and keep reading, because remember, if it's the written word, it's game. See you guys.